Warning. This podcast contains explicit sexual language and should only be listened to at work if you're looking for an excuse to connect with your HR representative. Additionally, all mentions of the word women include cis and trans women. If you are genderqueer, gender fluid, figuring it out, anything in between, and feel like this conversation is also important for you, you are welcome here.
Will you open up with me? These pages, they can feed your innermost desires. Do you feel inspired? Are you getting what you need? Are you coming curiously? A secret safe with me. And here you can simply be yourself. Jade.
Hi, y'all. This is Jace, and you found a book club episode of Jace Reads Romance. Fair warning, we will spoil everything. So if you are someone who doesn't like to have a book spoiled for them, press pause and come back to this episode at a later date. Hopefully, you like the book just as much as we did. So far, we haven't read any books that we didn't like, so we've got a pretty good track record. Enjoy. Hi, y'all. This is Jace, she, they, and you found Jace Reads Romance, a community dedicated to empowering women about sex and sexuality through the reading of romance novels. And read them we do. This is, okay, so I know last time I joked that I voluntold Betsy that I was going to make her read a book. I did that to our guest tonight. I really coerced them hardcore into this book, and I have no regrets. So would you like to introduce yourself and explain how you ended up here on this beautiful evening?
Yeah, hi, I am Kaitlin. I got voluntold to buy this book during Romance Bookstore Day at our local romance bookstore. We were shopping at like 10 a.m. and I was looking for one book and I bought four, so that was a good day. And I said, "Oh, this book looks pretty." And then Jay said, "You should read it. You should buy it. You should read it and discuss on the podcast." And that is how we are here.
It is my favorite way to get books off my TBR. Oh, you're reading that book? Great. I can now read it and we can talk about it. Your copy is prettier because I hate dust jackets, but if you would like to show the book is The Never List by Jade Presley. Presley? I think that's how you say her name. And it is a pretty book. It's the first printing, Entangled, man. They know what they're doing. Oh, yeah. My only complaint is that the artwork is the same for the front and the back. Like, I wish it had been different.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give a brief overview of this book, and then Kaitlin will share some expectations versus reactions at the end of it. All I knew about this book going into it was a why choose fantasy romance. That's it. That was enough to make me buy the book. That, and it was pretty. The larger plot is we have, plot. That we're going to get there. Believe you me. But the idea behind this story is they're in a fantasy land. There is magic. There's a hierarchy and an oppressive government, as there always is. Riley is part of the lowest of low classes. She is very subjugated. Is that the correct word? Yeah. She's held down by the man. And her sister, she also has powers she shouldn't have. The power system is weird here. I don't fully understand it. And her sister disappeared a year ago after sneaking into what's called the Choosing, which is Bride Trials Light. It's a Cinderella type ball where the four princes of the land look around the room and go, you. And her sister went and never came home last year. Riley has been looking for her. So she gets her friends to sneak her into the castle to try and figure out where her sister went. Did she get sent on a mission? Was she executed? Is she in the dungeons? Her whole goal of the evening is to break into the record room and find her sister. But instead, she is chosen. It's just as funny as it sounds. And that's like the first 15% less of that in the book. And then she has to go through what I guess were bride trials, but is just spend a month with each of the princes because apparently they're scary and no woman has made it more than a month with any of them. And then at the end of the 4 months, she has to publicly choose them. And then she has to go through an actual trial that nobody really understands to become immortal. And the princes get their powers unlocked. That's it. Right?
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
that's the outline of it.
That's the basic premise of this book.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you know going into it? And then how did you feel when you finished?
I knew nothing. I knew it was a white shoes. I didn't know it was fantasy. I just the white shoes. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Um, Pretty book, like you said. I let's do it. I felt I didn't know it was a series,
Me
so that
neither.
would have changed my reading of the book if I got to like the last like 50 pages and I was like, this is how can this end? Like there's so much going on.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't realize it was a
so
series either. I'm with you.
which I'm glad because there's, so much that needs to happen. But I think my understanding going into a book, if it's a series or not, kind of changes how I read.
Yes.
Um, so I didn't know that. So that was a fun surprise to get to the end. I'm like, oh, but what's next? What happens?
Yeah.
What's going on? But I still liked it. I vibed with it. I mean, it was wild. Like there was a lot that was going on, and then a lot that happens, and then just the last like little bit of the book, I was like, oh, okay, this is what I was kind of more anticipating throughout the rest of the book.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. It was
And this
different than
is
I
to
thought it would
clarify, like
be.
this is a series that my guess based on this book follows the same characters. It's not like Phantasma, which was last month's book, which is a series but follows a different couple each time. This is their story continuing, which definitely affected the pacing, I think, of this book and the resolution
Yeah.
of the book. And there is no date for the number 2. So
Okay.
if I finished this and I went, what the fuck? What is happening? Have I pre-ordered the next book yet? I don't know. And according to Goodreads, it's a series, but there is no number 2 listed yet. So if that
Perfect.
affects, for readers, listeners, future readers, if that affects your desire to read this book, I feel that. Oh my God. I have so many feelings about the spice in this book. Do we want to dive into spice or do you want to stick with plot for a little bit?
Up to you. I
This,
am good with whatever.
I feel like we should talk about plot before I complain about their
Yeah.
incorrect use of kink in this book. Uh, but I felt like the pacing of this book was weird for me.
Yes.
So
Yes.
each visit with one of these princes felt so fast, and we got these chapters that skipped weeks at a time. And my preference would have actually to have had her with each guy for a week instead of a month. And then I would have
Yeah.
felt like I was there, Then I would have felt like I was with this process. Because even though she was like, "Oh my God, it's been 3 weeks." It still felt stupidly fast for you to fall in love and for them to be in love with you. So you might as well have just made it
Yeah.
a week. Yeah.
Yeah. The month was long, but also so short. Like, why? And they're like fucking on the first night. Like, okay, like,
No judgment. Do
yeah,
like I
no
I
judgment.
love
You do it.
I love it.
I love
You
it.
want to fuck someone, like go ahead. But we're also talking about a woman who the first time we meet her is confronted with her sexual assaulter. Like
Right? In
she's
an alley.
in an alley, like this guard that she's been intimate with because originally she thought she could sweeten him up to let him so he would let her, cross borders from the town where she actually lives into the nicer towns where she's not supposed to go. And it turns out that he likes hurting women for real. And so that's the first thing we see is victim Riley being confronted with her assaulter and being essentially ordered to show up to fuck him later, which, she doesn't because she goes to the ball and gets chosen. Oh my gosh. I also totally missed that the princes in the ball were hiding, that they had fakes. I didn't even remember that they were fakes. I just thought, aren't you a dumbass?
Yeah.
Like, clearly this is a prince behind you.
Right.
Like,
Like, I picked up on that. I didn't really put two and two together that they'd use body doubles or whatever. I
I
was like,
didn't
okay.
until the choosing when they switched body doubles, and I went, they switched
Oh,
body doubles. When did they have body doubles to begin with?
yeah.
I don't know. So I felt like there was just a lot of gaping holes where I had to make consistent leaps and fill in the blanks for myself, which in fantasy is really frustrating. Like, okay, you're going to take all of this time to world build, but you're going to make me fill in the plot for you. I didn't love that. And it made the times with the men less meaningful to me because and you, to your point, so much of it was spice. This was a spicy book, friends. It's a why choose, and she is a why choosing. there's not a scrimp on the number of scenes. And we can get into what I thought of them later, but she doesn't scrimp on that. It does mean that we don't see a ton of connection, even with Pierce. So Pierce is the third prince, and they aren't intimate for weeks because they learn a game that seems exactly like chess.
Chess. Yeah.
Y'all, it's basically chess.
Chess.
It's chess without the name, and that's their foreplay. And then they bone with magic. I don't understand him. I don't really
That
understand.
works.
And there's
Yeah.
her big fear was that they'd figure out that she was from where she was from and that she has powers. Okay, so because they basically kill everyone with powers except for the princes and the kings. Nobody else is supposed to have powers anymore. And she has
That's what I didn't
powers.
understand, if it
Why?
was the Dimmies or like that they were killing or just anybody else with power.
But
That
I
part was
think
confusing to me.
all power in this world come from these four goddesses who used either bestowed gifts or fucked mortals, like one or the other. And
Yeah.
there were these bloodlines of powers from these goddesses. And then when the four kings mated, but I'm like, are they, if you're mated, are you fucking other people? Because apparently you fucked every other chosen before this. Like, how are you mated? But the goddesses chose these four kings and bestowed upon them massive amount of powers and birth to these four princes. And then the demis didn't like it. The demis are those bloodlines with powers, and they rose up against them. But that was hundreds of years ago because everybody lives for forever. So I'm not even sure. But it seems like anyone with powers now is put on is, yeah, no bueno. You have to go to the bad place, the bad city, the lowborn city where you toil away in the mines and you have no rights to, you know, cross borders into other towns or marry other people. And you're sent on these missions, the never list missions.
Yeah.
I don't know. The never list is everyone who's either has powers or is a demi or spoke out against them. And then they either just kill you, throw you in the dungeons, or send you on secret missions to fight the island to the north that doesn't like them, which is apparently such a threat, and we hear nothing about them. Like that's not even a point in this book.
No.
They could not be at war and nothing would change in this book.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, but and then the goddesses went to sleep. Why? I don't know. Did they? I'm not sure.
I don't think it was their choice.
I don't think it was their choice. This seems really like, ooh, don't give men power. Like, is really what I took away from this book.
Yeah.
Men don't deserve
any
it.
of your power.
No, don't give them any of your power. They don't deserve it. They're gonna fuck shit up with it. And so now the goddesses are asleep and these boys have to find a mate to step into their full. But my question is, everybody keeps saying, oh, when they have their, is it that when they get their power, they ascend to the throne automatically?
That's kind of how I took it. And that's why I think the kings are like trying to not make this happen.
Yeah, it's a very odd situation. Also, the kings are immortal and they've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. But these boys are only in their 20s. They're not even 30.
Yeah.
So it just feels, again, these are holes. These are holes that are not getting filled. Unlike Riley. Oh, I had to. It's a why choose book. But also for the why choosing, I was expecting more dicks in more holes. Yes. I was expecting more dicks and more holes. So
yeah. That part was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was only two at a time. And
I don't get it. Okay, we're just gonna go to the spice because I think both of us are having this moment of, this is a why choose book where she is a why choosing. However, and they keep saying like, oh, she has to take all of us at once. Like, that's one of the first things they're talking about. Like, oh, she needs to be able to take all of us. She never takes all of them.
No.
Like Kaitlin said, it was 2 at a time. We only ever see her actually having sex with 2 men at a time. Now, for those of you who are wondering, how possibly could a woman take... So if you listen to that conversation and you just thought, how is one woman supposed to take 4 phalluses? Use your damn imagination, because it is not probable, but possible. And I like to see what an author is going to come up with. And as we've mentioned, it only ever happened 2 at a time. And there was like no backdoor prep for the one time it was backdoor. There was some sort of liquid, but there was no prep. And here's the thing, if you've been having anal sex for all of these months with these men, that is great, wonderful. You are loosened up and ready to go. But you can't have that double penetration, like backdoor and the G, be the first instance we even hear of you playing with the backdoor. Like, we didn't even get a finger in there in a different scene.
It didn't happen, and yeah, if they had different kind of sex on page before that, like any anal play or anything like that beforehand, then you could have eased into it, I guess, or just shown that I was just listening, or an option.
I was just listening to a book where it's a beautiful moment and it's an MM romance, and they're being intimate for the first time. And one of the guys says to the other, I want you to fuck me. dude, we haven't done any backdoor prep. How am I supposed to fuck you? Like, all the lube in the world is not going to get that backdoor ready for what's about to happen. And so I sat through that scene, and I was like, it's beautiful and romantic, and I'm so happy for you. However, this would not work in real life. You don't just like lube it up, like hop on and pray. Like, that's not how this works.
No. Maybe in this fantasy world, that is how it works.
Well, I mean, the one that I was reading was not a fantasy. I mean, it technically was. It was like magical realism. But like this frustrated me to no end. I think authors in the mainstream are realizing that kink is appealing to people and using it in a way that it's not real kink, but it's fucking kink. And they're presenting it as though you don't need negotiation or conversation or limits or anything around it. And that's different for dark romance. But this book contained quite a bit of that. And I felt it really frustrating. So do you mind if I talk about Axel and Jax for a second?
Yes.
So, and I like both of these people. Kind of. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. I'm like, where the fuck are we? Axel. But Axel is the second prince that she stays with. And she brings the first prince, Cal, with her for moral support. And I don't know what it was, but he basically says like, oh, you need to be punished. Yep, we're going with an, oh, you need to be punished. Oh, I should have just looked for the stickies of I didn't like this, because that's where it is. And he basically just says, lean over the chair and spanks her. No. That was my reaction. Did you have any reaction to the sudden introduction of punishment spanking?
Yeah, it was interesting. It's just a lot of like showing, or it's telling instead of showing, kind of like, okay, this is what we're doing now, and just like right into it from like 0 to 100. No, like, I like consent. I like talking about things before. In non-fantasy, I like the discussion of like contraception before they have sex for the first time. I enjoy that. I know this is fantasy, so like that's not discussed.
Well, she took a tonic. Mirren gave her the tonic.
The tonic, magical tonics that prevent
magical
everything.
Birth control tonic.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So it just felt like she, it just kind of just came out of nowhere. I felt like
it served no purpose.
No.
It served no purpose. It's not really a punishment unless you've negotiated it. It's like, even if like, oh goodness, I like it. It felt icky to me. Even in fantasy, if you're going to bring in kink, because that's what it is, it's kink, you need to talk about it. And then on the next page, because I think we have the same version, on 226, I have a note that this things are not fitting together the way that you are saying they are fitting together, because she is leaning over the chair, so she's ass up, and then so this is the top of 226, like second paragraph. His free hand, so Axel is behind her, he stuck a finger in her vag. Yeah, we're going to get real deep into this. His free hand roams over my bare back before swinging around to my breast. So he's got one finger from behind in her vag or from the side. I don't know. Like, he's either from the side or from the back because he was spanking her. He's got a hand on her tit. I know, like this, bring out the Barbie doll, Steffi. And then, he palms one breast before pinching my nipple. At the same time, he presses the heel of his palm against that sensitive bundle of nerves, curling those two fingers inside me in a come hither motion. You can't do that from the back or from the side. You have to be like, thank you. Like, I was reading this and I'm like, wait, nope, this does not work.
No.
Like, I think I broke Seffi, but like, so not only do we have spanking that is not negotiated, not talked about, he doesn't even say, I'm going to give you 3. He just spanks her like 3 times and is like, are you hot? So I didn't love that. Let's just go with that. What I did appreciate, but by that point I was annoyed at her, is there's a decent amount of clit stimulation during penetrative sex, either with like hands touching or a phrase of he ground against me. Though I'm kind of surprised with how little anatomical anything they really used. Like sensitive bundle of nerves, like it's not clit, it's not cock, it's not penis, it's not like, there's just not a lot of explicit stating of sexual organs, which confused me. And then we get to Jax, the nightmare. And literally in the first bit before she's even met them, she and her friends talk about, oh, Jax and his like pleasure closet bullshit, something. So like, he's kinky. Great. He goes to a sex club and there's kink. Wonderful. And she thinks to herself, that might be fun to be tied up. Okay, great. You might want to be tied up. That's totally valid. And I was young and hopeful when I read that and thought, oh, wow, what a wonderful moment when we're going to get some kink. No. And I have my negotiations. You have to trust me, as he guides my wrists into cups and hauls my arms above my head. Can you do that? Nope. No, I can't. Because, you just tied me up and didn't talk about didn't ask if I liked it, didn't ask how I was feeling, didn't tell me what was going to happen. You don't know if I have wrist problems or shoulder problems, or like, this is trust. Not. Yes. Oh, but I love him already. I don't give a fuck. You can love like, this is the thing I think people forget about kink. Especially because like, yeah, there's a lot of shit that can go wrong in vanilla sex and it's kind of funny. Like, don't do reverse cowgirl unless you want a broken penis. Like, that's funny as long as everything heals correctly. But with kink, there's such a higher level of trauma that can happen, either physical injury or emotional, like who the fuck knows-ness, that you don't get to fuck around with it. You don't get to just say, let's try it, because you don't know what's gonna happen. What if this flashed her back to her assaults? Like, what then? There's no way for her to get out of this. There's no way for her to present any of this. And the fact that, like, yes, this is why choosing most people don't live in a polyamorous lifestyle might make people think that, oh, well, I can just try it. No, you can't just try it. There's not even a note at the beginning that says there's some kink, don't do it. And there is a note of some sort. It doesn't even say kink. It says sexually explicit scenes with one or more or multiple consenting partners. That's it. Like, you can't just put that in there. And I think this was another one where I was like, I don't, the Barbie dolls are not connecting for me. But I think at that point I was so annoyed at the kink that I did not note it. Those are my big feelings about these two moments.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think things need to be discussed, talked about, like no safe word or anything like that. Just like, let's go to Pound Town and like, that's it. Like, you're coming with me, whether you like it or not, and then we're going.
Yeah, I'm just going to carry you to my playroom. and do what I want with you doesn't.
After.
Oh, because there are canes and chains and stuff. Survey the room. There is a whips and blades and other items I can't make out. Friend, you need to talk about this.
To make those out. Yeah.
Like we need you don't. And he cuts off her clothing too. Like, okay. But like, no, it was really frustrating, especially that this was the last one, her last prince, the last connection, and that it was handled in this way. And this is where I think I mentally checked out, because there are so many ways in which you can use intimacy and sex and kink to foster and deepen a relationship. And what this felt like to me was, I'm going to use these buzzwords in this thing that's like really, really hot right now. And number one, not use it correctly. And number two, like, have it meaningless. Like, if you took out the spanking in her scene with Axel, if you took out the bondage with Jax, I don't think anything would change in their relationship at all.
No.
I'm trying to think of a sex scene besides maybe the first one, because you're like, oh, okay, good. Spice. But that I felt could not have been skipped or added something that other things didn't. Like,
no, I think the spice was just in there to be spicy, and like, because she has to fuck all of them, like essentially their moms make them have to do this.
Well, I mean, they say like she can say no, and I think other chosens have said no, I won't fuck you at all.
Yeah.
But it made the spice less appealing. Like, the more generic I found it to be, the less I enjoyed the reading of it.
Yeah. I did not enjoy when we got to Jax, I was expecting like a fight, because he was the last one. They had to like, he had needed to grovel. He was being an asshole. Like, he needed something. And then first night in town, he didn't meet her at his house. She goes to find him. And then it's just fine.
And then he like sends her out of the club and like doesn't get mad until her assaulter shows up and tries to assault her in the club. And Jax is like, we don't do that. You always get consent. And then this scene, I'm like, wait, you don't get to lecture Turner about consent and then just tie her up without explaining shit. What are we doing?
I did not enjoy that. I don't know. I was expecting more of like, it was such a big deal of the Jax moment of it. I was expecting just days and like, okay, hold him out, make him grovel, make him do something, but
anything like a life or death situation. I was expecting, typically it's like, who hurt you, whatever. Like, I kind of expected that. But this is, I think, what really screwed me in my enjoyment, is that these beats in the plot that we did get were so fast, and yet we skipped weeks of time. And so it didn't make sense. It felt really uneven to me. I blew through this book. It was a really fast read, but I don't know if I would say I liked it, honestly. Like, I know there's a book 2 one day. I don't know if I care. Is that weird to say? Like,
it all felt more or less resolved by the end, right? Like, kind of enough to be like, okay, I know that they're gonna survive. Okay. Not that I'm like hanging in the balance of like, are they, not enough to like, I need this book now.
No, well, I was really confused because I don't fully understand what happened with the powers, and all the boys are like, no, no, and she's going, it's gonna be fine. I'm like, what the fuck is happening with you? So to ruin more things,
Yeah.
the actual there is plot. There's like side-ish plot. So Riley's sister Erin is gone. And what we learn during her visits with the princes is there's this secret rebels called the Faders who are wreaking havoc and just like causing damage and killing innocent people. There really isn't a method to the madness, and they can't figure out if it's the island to the north they are at war with, or just, you know, in people who are taking drugs to enhance their power, to give them powers, or actual demis. And we only see the Faders twice. They attack in Cal City, and then Axel's city, where she goes with them. And during her ceremony to become immortal, Faders arrive and they fight. Oh, and she gets killed. Someone kills her. Someone poisons the elixir that supposedly the goddesses had made for the ceremony thing. And so she dies. And the only way to resurrect her is for all of the princes to give her all of their powers, so they will be powerless. But then she can choose to give them back their powers, which she does immediately.
Yeah.
And then
figures
somehow,
that out. No problem.
No worries. No worries.
problem.
I got this.
No
I'm going to
worries.
think about
I
you.
get it.
I love you so
Undo.
much. Oh, it's a little bit smoky. Phew. And then somehow, the leader of the Fader group, it turns out to be Erin. Oh no, I'm so surprised.
You saw that happen. No.
Then all the princes are about to attack Erin, and she says no and somehow sucks the powers back into herself. And they're like, no, you betrayed us. And she's like, no, I didn't. And then it ends and it says to be continued. And I went, why?
Why?
Yeah,
there's no clear like motive. Or like, what are they trying to do? The Faders are trying to
What
do.
are they trying to accomplish?
Kill the princes, I guess. But like that would
why?
make it worse.
I don't get any of it.
The kings, yeah.
The king poisoned her
clear.
and the elixir, Jax's dad is an asshole and keeps threatening her.
Tried to rape her,
absolutely tried to rape her.
That was so yeah, that part I did not enjoy. That the guys were like, okay, it's the test.
It's the test where the kings come on to our chosen, and every other chosen has let the kings fuck her. Right? Which is why I'm also like, wait, you're mated to a goddess. Wouldn't she have demanded celibacy? Like, sorry, I'm going to sleep for the protection of our realm. You don't get to stick your dick in anything.
You don't get to, No.
Like, if I were a goddess.
Like some 20-year-old girls, like, that's just wild.
Yes, these
that the guys were just okay with their dad. I don't know. I did not enjoy that part.
No, it's not great. And she says no, and Jax's dad is like, ooh, but maybe. And one of the other kings has to say, stop. She said stop. Now you stop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great. This is so warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And so it felt almost like sexual assault was being used as a plot device, which I didn't like in that. I didn't enjoy this. Like,
no, because that was like twice in one night, essentially, for her to be
and all the princes are like
sexual assault.
Yeah, like it's okay. They consented to our dads. I'm like, yeah, did they really? Like, I don't know if you really can consent to the king of your lands, friends. Yeah. That's a little bit murky for me. So I'm gonna go with, nope, still rape. That's still sexual assault. If you don't feel like you can say no, then still not okay. And no wonder they didn't want to stay. But there are too many plot holes for a story that is continuing.
And it's 400 pages? Like
400 pages!
To be that, like, not a lot
This
happened.
is not original. Not a lot
Yeah.
happened. The pacing was weird. We have one person of color, Pierce, and Pierce is a person of color, but like none of it's really described well. So I don't even give you points for that. Like you're all on one island.
No.
You have one person of
Right?
color. Like then you should and like no, like they're described as black, and even in the artwork they're black, but like no one else is described as any other kind of person of color, and there's more than one. I don't know if you know this, but there are lots of different colors of people out there, and if you're gonna have one, you should have more than one. It just
more than one.
Yeah, no one is queer around them. I
thought maybe the princes would be together at some
maybe
point,
there'd be
right?
a crossing
like,
of swords. You know what? Like I can respect it. Like okay, if there's no crossing of swords, at least you're like masculine enough to like put your dick in the same hole. It's fine.
right?
But yeah, like there were so many opportunities to make it better. Like the sex could have been better, the relationships could have been better, the world could have been flushed out. Like, and I don't even feel like this is well, things will be revealed in book 2. This is you just didn't do your job well.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be
long
however
to
many
do
books this series is going to be. I feel like it's not going to be explained well. I think things are just going to drag out until they're forgotten.
Yeah, it feels like because this is what most people, our publishers, are asking for, it's going to be a trilogy. It doesn't give me duology feels.
No.
But I don't know if I could sit through a trilogy of written by her. Have you read anything else by her?
No. I was looking at her other stuff. I have not.
Yeah. Me neither. This does not make me want to.
No.
I'm sorry. I feel bad. I did this to both of us.
It's okay. The book was very pretty.
It was very pretty, and now it's off of our TBR. It's off of our TBRs.
That's it. I read a book. My husband can't be mad that I have a book I haven't read, so that's good.
Nope. And it's like a big book. It's a pretty book. It's like takes up space. Movers are not happy if you move, but you can say I read it.
I read it.
And so I think this was the first book that I really but at the end of it went, I kind of want my time back for book club. Like typically I pick better books for book club. But you know what? This is my fault because I definitely picked this book, but like I judged the book by its sprayed edges. Yeah. And that was wrong. Mea culpa.
It's okay. Listen, I had fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a light read. Like it's not gonna change the world. It's fine. No. It was entertaining. I'm
gonna go with it. People who don't know better are gonna read this book and think it's great.
Yeah. Right. Like it's
like if you've never read a Wide Shoes before, you're gonna think it's great.
This is great.
If you've barely touched kink, you're gonna think it's great. Yeah. If you don't mind when authors not just purposely hide shit from you, but like leave plot holes, you're gonna think it's fine. Or if she like realizes there are plot holes and then is like, oh shit, I gotta fill them back in. Like you're gonna think it's great.
Right. And I'm just surprised at the color purple, right? Because there's no purple guy each color.
True. Yes.
So I don't know why the purple. Because if they're like, you would think maybe 4 books, one of each color of the guy. So I don't know what the second one will be. Because they can't do black, think about that. Red, green, or blue. Because this is purple. So that didn't make sense.
That
to me.
Is such a valid question. And we didn't even mention it because we don't care that all the boys are they rule cities within this kingdom that are named after their stone. Yeah. So we've got ruby, sapphire, emerald, and obsidian.
Yeah.
And purple is not is not in that. Is she going to become some sort of all-powerful purple goddess? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just going through all of my things now, and I'm making sure I didn't like miss something I want to rant about or that I want to give credit to.
Yeah, there's just like a lot of insta love, which like I don't love when they're
I don't
like,
mind insta love, like, oh, we're fated. She's our perfect.
yeah,
Oh, I do
right.
love the everyone. I mean, hopefully everyone in this room will and listening will know what he's asking her to do when I tell you this line. I said sit on my face, on my face. I like that. I do appreciate a sit on my face moment.
Yes.
But yeah, even though it was 400 pages, I kind of went, what? Like, what did I read? What happened?
What happened?
What happened and why?
Yeah. The
Which
pacing was so odd.
so odd and just it made I think it would have been better served if it had only been a week at each place. Weirdly enough.
Like the first two guys got like so many chapters in their home cities or whatever, and then
Look,
like
I
Pierce
split
and
it
then
up.
Jax had the shortest, and it was like,
Pierce had the shortest.
yeah.
I'm looking because I put post-its, I put tabs when we went to each new place. And then of course we had the ceremony where she was supposed to become immortal and Jax's dad says something vaguely threatening. And either it will be Jax's dad that tried to poison her, or it's going to be a bait and switch. And I'm going to go, then why is he so evil? Like,
yeah. Like he's obviously trying to, they want to keep the power for themselves, right? Like it's obvious that they're not supporting this endeavor. I just don't understand like what happens if the guys don't get a mate. Like they don't ever have their own powers. Like that's that.
Well, it seems like they're leeching. They have to like give power to their mom every year, the tithe or something like that. So are they just going to lose their powers? But all four of them imply that I mean, as it is, their dads are still more powerful than they are. So I get.
Why aren't the dads what's doing it? I don't get it.
I don't get it. There are too many like big honking plot holes for my personal comfort.
No.
Let's be done with this. I think we're done. I don't want to. I'm gonna put the book jacket on and put it somewhere, and I'm not never gonna think about this book because I have to share it in my wrap up episode with Steffi at the end of the month. Not that she hasn't heard about it. All right. Well, to hopefully end on a much better note, here at Jace Reads Romance, we have 5 closing questions that I always ask new guests. And Kaitlin, the first one is, what is your favorite romance novel?
I saw the questions and
I know.
Thought about it. I don't know.
I don't think anyone has actually really won. So if you need to add like 3 to the list, it's fine.
I was thinking about it. It was like the one that probably I don't know that I was the most obsessed with back in the day was probably Twilight. Like that is when it came out. I had a odd obsession with it. Stands the test of time. Great. Just great. No 0 notes. A+. I was a Twilight girly back in the day.
It's so funny because Stephanie and I have talked about this. It was already deep into reading like adult vampire romance by that point. So going back to Twilight for me was like, oh, why? I read it.
That was probably like my first like fantasy book too. I guess the other one that we don't name was probably the first one, but I don't know.
So where/how do you prefer to read? Because I know you do mix it up sometimes.
Yeah. I do. I used to be just a straight like paper hardback girly, and then I got a Kindle like 3 years ago, and I think that changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to do both. For this book, it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I did both. I switched back and forth when I like leave.
Oh.
Because I don't like to travel. Like I read at work, so I read on my lunch break at
Uh-huh.
work for like an hour. So
Yep.
that's where I do like a majority of my reading. So
Mhm.
I don't like to bring big bulky books to work with me. So if it's on the Kindle, I would read it on the Kindle, or paperback, so or hardcover. So I switch back and forth. I live in a 2-bedroom condo in Chicago, so space is a luxury that we
Limited.
do not have. Yeah. So I've been trying not to buy every book, but I have been failing. So yeah, I like to do both. And then audiobooks as well is I switch it up.
Oh,
I like to do
switch
yeah.
it up. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, as you probably read when you read the notes, because you did that. Here at JC's Romance, we have this idea called comfy sexy. And it is based in our belief that you can be exploring your sexuality in your comfiest, cozy space by reading a romance novel. But what does the phrase comfy sexy evoke for you?
I think just confidence.
Yeah.
And I think confidence comes from getting older, honestly. Like I'm almost 40. And I think just the older I
Yeah.
get, the more confident I feel. And I don't care anymore. I don't care necessarily what I look like or how, if I gained weight, lost weight, whatever. I think it all comes from age and just being comfortable in your own body and not really caring what other people perceive or how the other people perceive you. I think it's just comes from within, and it can be hard in your 20s to feel that way. So I
Yeah.
think just being comfortable with yourself and just not necessarily caring what other people, how
Like
everyone else
teenagers,
is
it's
like
hard.
comparative. Yeah, it's
Being a
hard.
teenager is hard, but being in your 20s sucks in so many levels. Especially if you're a woman, I think. There's just
Yeah,
like all
it's
three of us are
hard.
like, yeah,
Social
remember the
media
dark
like wasn't a
days.
huge thing. Yeah, so it's
No.
harder. Yeah,
No.
there's
Oh
no
my
social
gosh.
media necessarily when I grew
Our
up.
camera's a
So
terrible resolution anyway, so like what
like
we
flash.
like
Yeah,
flat I still think in my brain that I'm going to have red eye in pictures because
yeah,
I have blue eyes. And so all of my pictures growing up are just like devil eyes pictures.
yeah.
So following up with that is, when do you feel your sexiest?
Um, just feel like when I'm being myself, like not trying to be somebody else or be what somebody thinks is sexy. It's more so what I think is sexy
Yeah.
because you are the captain of your own ship and should be able to dictate what is sexy, what is, what you find attractive. And I think reading more romance has helped me figure out what is sexy and
Yeah.
what I like and like what like talking about it. Like growing up we didn't talk about sex. Like very much like I don't do that. No, I don't talk about that. Don't read about it. So a little bit later
So
in life
Twilight
for
was
me, like
definitely
yeah.
scandalous then.
Ooh, yes.
I
They had to
I
wait
was
till marriage,
already
okay?
I was already deep into like BDSM werewolf shifters by that point.
No, yeah.
Like, I
It was
was
not.
so deep
No, I
into
was
that.
not raised. Yeah, I was not. I didn't do fanfics. I wasn't into that, or I didn't discover any of that growing up. So it was just
I think it's
later in
amazing to me
life.
that like I didn't discover like fan fiction wasn't a thing that I knew existed
Yeah,
until probably the last 3 years. Like I
yeah,
didn't
me
know it was an
too.
actual thing. Um, that I just got my hands on like really raunchy romance novels at a very young age. Yeah.
Which I'm surprised I did it. My mom is a huge reader, but never. I don't know how I never. Yeah, I
You
never
never
got my
I
hands on any of that for some whatever reason.
But what is so our final question is, what is the one thing you want women to know about sex and sexuality? You might call this your soapbox thing.
It's okay to ask questions. Like I was raised to not ask questions, and like it didn't. Later in life, I was like, "Oh, wait, what's that? Huh? Can someone explain it to me?" Like I was too afraid to ask
Yeah.
questions, I guess. And it's okay to look things up now. More information is everywhere now, which is great. And it wasn't necessarily when we were growing up. Like, it's totally
No.
different time. There was no books about, like, kink, right? It's not like
Very few,
and
very
like not
niche.
good.
Or they were
Yeah.
so niche that they were almost impossible to find in
Yeah.
places. But Kaitlin, thank you so much
Yeah.
for buying the pretty book, for reading the pretty book, whose best quality is that it's pretty, and for joining me on my tirade against this. Sometimes you read a book and you're like, is it just me? Am I the only person who read this and thought this? And so it was so nice to have you to commiserate with on our shared frustration with this story. And I think if I had not had you to talk to about this, I would have really pouted for several days about wasting my time in 400 pages of this book.
400 pages, just why?
That's the question. It also felt like nothing was well described.
No.
For 400 pages. Like, how is it 400 pages?
How is it 400 pages?
I don't understand.
One group scene. That's all
like,
not one.
Not one. You don't, it just, I
give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want. Like, I don't even mind like not a daisy chain, because a daisy chain would be like the dudes fucking each other, which, hey, that's save it for book 3. But like, I am not opposed to the idea of just one after. That's very Omega-verse. Like, we're going to take turns fucking our come back into you. Like, that's so Omega-verse with like an Omega in heat, and I love it. I would have preferred even that to 2 at a time.
Yeah.
And on that note, don't feel like you need to read this book. If you did, and you want to continue with book 2, let us know how it goes. Oh, thank you all for joining us. I hope that this encourages you not to read this book and to go find something better. Bye. Jace Reads Romance is a 3 Paws Productions podcast. Produced by Seffi, edited by Michael Achenbach. Our theme song is written and performed by Diana Weishauer. For show notes and more, head to www.jacereadsromance.com. That's JAYCE Reads Romance. Follow us on socials at Jace Reads Romance everywhere. For more exclusive content, visit us on Substack, where you'll find extended episodes, bonus episodes, and more. Have a question, story, or a book recommendation you know I'll love? Email Jace at jacereadsromance.com or call and leave a voicemail at 661-JACE-RR. That's 661-529-2377. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast. And as always, this is Jace, holding space for you.